All right, my check 1, 2, and then here we go right now. Hey, how's it going? My name is Rafael Chacín, as known as El Capitán Rafucho, and welcome everybody to another episode of Silver and Black Experience. Because I'm bringing back the Raiders podcast that we can talk about news, analysis, everything about for the black hole, like the silver and black report right now. So right now, in this episode, we can talk about anything, including for a quick preview of Raiders versus Lions on Monday Night Football. And right now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not alone because right now we had a special guest right now. So you guys recognize this face right now in so many shows like Protect the Shield podcast, also with Spotlight and the podcast Nothing But Raiders. But this guy is tremendously awesome right now. So let's give it a round of applause for our guest right now. That is Chindaluz, as known as Leo. How's it going?
Good, good, good. How you doing, brother? I'm good. I'm good. Better now.
Yeah, we are better
Yeah,
now because we just had the fix over the microphone right now. So right
yeah.
now, I just want to make sure to subscribe to Rafael Chacín, as known as El Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. You can type on YouTube Rafael Chacín, and boom, there it is. The live streams. Also, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram at Capitán Rafucho. So right now, there's a lot of things to explain that are about for the Raiders right now. So let's see for the comments, so to see what happens. Robert Pena that says salute to you, Robert Pena. Robert Pena is in the building. Dana Barry, how's it going? Anthony Estrada is in the building right now. Yo, what's good? Salute to my guy Leo. Also, we got Real Man, our Raiders. Salute, Leo, Rafa. Sorry I couldn't make it, the fellas. Gotta stay tuned and thought, but yes, it is right. Anthony started saying nothing much, man. Just getting more and more engines for the Monday night versus the Lions.
Woo.
And yes, yeah, it is right, folks. So right
What's up?
now, I just wanted to make sure to everybody else because we got to sign up for the first topic, and I know this is gonna be like a little controversial right now, but
Mm-hmm.
let's just have it like this one because the first topic that we need to use at this moment before the Monday Night Football. So this is gonna be like everything gonna happen like this one. All right. So the first one is Jimmy Garoppolo, hopefully to be in action this Sunday. I know this might be a little controversial right now, but it's hopefully to be in action for this Sunday because remember at this time that Jimmy Garoppolo was injured the other week because they had to use to to Brian Hoyer or Aiden O'Connor, but it seems that they had to cut a lot of the situation about these injury report right now. So it might be good, hopefully, to be in a session this Sunday. But I mean, this quarterback situation, it gets a lot of weird about this time because after the week against Chicago Bears, they
Mm.
just used Brian Hoyer as a starter. And for the second half, they used Aiden O'Connor. So it might be like a sticky situation, but I know this happened like if Jimmy Garoppolo stays a lot of 100% healthy, it could have happened like this one. But if you're gonna stay like at a 50% healthy, 50% not getting healthy, I mean, it's gonna be like a lot of worse situation about it. So tell me that about it. It's gonna be like 100% healthy or is not. It'll be like prepared for the Raiders against the Lions when it comes to the case of Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah. Mm. You know what? The whole quarterback thing is so crazy to me because it all depends on Jimmy being healthy. I think before he went out in the game, I think he was doing good, and then he got hurt. But that's the problem with Jimmy right now. It's so fragile that he gets hurt, and then we're left like, do we bring in Hoyer? Do we start O'Connell? And it's not good for the team to build that continuity with each other when you got to keep bringing the quarterback in and out, in and out. So if Jimmy's 100% ready to go, then I would say go ahead and start Jimmy. But if he's not, if he's just gonna go in there and then he can only take like a hit or two and then he's gonna come out, like don't play him, don't start him. It's gonna hurt the team more to keep him in there that way than it is to just maybe I guess go with O'Connell this week if we have to. But I mean, my thing is a healthy Jimmy. I think even though he's not the best, I think he does give the team the best chance to win as opposed to having to switch and figure out who the quarterback is, or if we're going to go with the rookie and see if O'Connell's going to be able to get more and extend plays more, has a bigger arm, things like that. But I think at this point, it's like if Jimmy's not 100, we can't go with him. But if he's 100% ready to go, then throw him in there. I'm ready. I'm ready to go with Jimmy. I think he gives the best chance to win at this point, which isn't saying much considering the three quarterbacks we have. I wish we had a better option at there, but I mean that's where we are at this point.
Yeah, that's exactly. And of course, we gotta see because right now we gotta share this right now. All right, so we gotta share what we just see the Jimmy Garoppolo before the game of Monday night after against the Detroit Lions. So we're gonna
Okay.
check this right now. So let's see what they got over here. All right, so we're gonna play this clip right now, so we can see what Jimmy Garoppolo says before Monday Night Football. Let's see what they got.
It was different. Yeah, it was different than any injury I've had. Thankfully things worked out. Feeling good, but yeah, we're in a good spot now.
Look at Monday night, obviously Aiden Hutchinson, from your standpoint, somebody you've seen coming at you. What are your thoughts on what you've seen on him on tape?
Very talented, man. Very talented. Guy's got motor that just doesn't stop. So tip your hat to him. He's a good player. We're gonna have to scheme it up for him, get him blocked, and handle that. I think that's where it all starts. Their front's talented. It starts with him, and once you get that handled, then you can start attacking parts. It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that is gonna happen like this one, but I mean they're gonna happen like in some situations where they happen for the quarterback because right now the Toronto Lions they got Jared Goff, Hayden Hutchinson, but right now it's more difficult to use it because the coaches had a decision of what's gonna happen with the starter because over the last few games that we're right now they just have start with Jimmy Garoppolo, and then for another game against Chicago Bears they just use with Brian Hoyer, the Aiden O'Connor. I mean they could have happened like this one. But if you saw look at the declarations on Jimmy Garoppolo last night of I mean it's gonna be like it because can it turn around get the season around for the details and over to the Monday night because I know they get to start for anything could happen like this one. But
Right.
I know for the practice right now because he started a lot of the feed more with Devontae Adams or the field of Las Vegas. I mean that it would be like a starter, but the only issue about it is we're not very sure it's 100% healthy because
Yeah.
one of the tests for the quarterback is to feed more of the wide receivers, and
Mhm.
I'm not really sure that if Jimmy Garoppolo can start a lot of healthy because he's just like a take it like the rest of the about for this injury report. I mean they're gonna happen like this one because if they're gonna start with Brian Hoyer, I don't know. It's just like a sticky situation against the Chicago Bears where did this happen. But if
Yeah.
they can start with Aiden O'Connor, that will be different because he got the bright start of the generation of the Raiders. But the only issue, who's gonna feed like the wide receivers is wide open.
Right, yeah, man, that's the thing, and I think that's the part that scares me when you talk about the Lions is Hutchinson. Hutchinson's an animal. He's like their Max Crosby. Are we going to be able to block him? So if Jimmy's not healthy, is he going to be able to get away from Hutchinson and not get hurt? And again, and I think that's why I agree with you. Even with if we do have to go with somebody else, I would rather go with O'Connell at this point. I think he would be able. Hopefully, he gets his timing down is better, but I hope he's able to spread the ball around more. I mean, last game against the Bears, he got thrown in there when we were already down. So it was nothing really much he can do at that point, but just try to make plays from a team that's already having to come behind. And I think if you game plan for him, this is where I have my issues with the coaches. If you game plan better for him, get him going, get him started, get the running game going, then he's able to be more successful. Even with Jimmy, you think about it, before he went out on the Patriots game, a lot of us were already shocked that the ball was already going to Meyer. Like, oh my God, Mayer was finally getting involved. And then he started throwing it to Adams, and then some Jacoby Meyer. So then at that time, like, okay, we're starting to open up. Then he went down. And at that point, we were like, oh, damn, here we go. Now we gotta go with Hoyer, which I know a lot of the nation has no faith in him. He's been in the league forever, wondering what he's doing here. And I'm the same way. But I think as a backup, he does a better job. And if we have to go with Aiden, I'd rather go with Aiden O'Connell at this point if Jimmy can't go. But Jimmy's got to be 100 because that Detroit defense is really, really good.
Yeah, that's exactly. So let's check them out for the comments right now that they say. That's what we started to say. Not even the second half. He brought him in 2 minutes into the fourth quarter. I call he's gonna do that on Ben's play by play. Yeah, it is. We got Afakasi on the building right now. So let's see
Kase, what's up, brother?
Afakasi. Yeah, I just watched the whole of the show with Nate at the morning, and that's
Mm,
why because that I was on rush hour because I was doing like in work right now. But yes, Robert Pena to say just win, baby. I think he's trying to say, yeah, what's good, my guy, Afakasi Raider. Also, I like the comment right now for real men are Raider. I just hope the defense line don't eat us, whoever it is. We need to some good protection. And
yes.
Hutchinson has got a sack in 2 games, so he's gonna be hunting. I agree with that.
Mhm. Yes. Yes. Very much so. Hmm.
And speaking about for the defense right now, so let's just have it up for the second topic right now because I know this is gonna be like a lot of very interesting right now. So the second topic is say bring some young talent to the defense and the offense. Why? Because right now the defense is getting involved for about this, but the offense is getting like they're still struggling because they need to
Hmm.
protect it a lot of more for identity and everything. But I mean, defense are looking very good over the last few games because if you saw the interception of Meek Robertson and Max
Right.
Crosser is closing out for the games for the safety and sack, I mean that they could be happy like this one because that's what they go for the process of getting involved for the defense. But the offense is still struggling because they need to get involved for the new identity because they just got a lot of chemistry about it. So giving the about and the difference between the defense and the offense because it could have happened like this one. But we need sort of young talent at about right now because if you see like the college football in different teams, because we need something like bolder and bigger, some young talents, because those are the positions that we needed for defensive
Hmm.
tackle, linebacker, and of course cornerback. Those three positions that we needed to do it because those three needs positions that had to go to involve a lot of defense and get involved a lot of more.
Yeah, yeah, no, especially on the defensive side. I get what you're saying. Like, people wanted like these veterans, these big name veterans, and then you saw we got somebody like Peters, and to see the way that Peters played on Sunday against the Bears was just embarrassing. The way he just whiffed those tackles, didn't even try, and it wasn't the first time. Wasn't the first time he's doing them. That's why I at this point, the way our defense is going, the way they're playing together, yeah, they could have done a lot better job tackling against the Bears. They were horrible tackling, but they were also on the field for so damn long. Those drives the Bears had just wore them out, and our offense couldn't get anything going. Couldn't get anything going. So on a defensive side, like I like the young guys, like Jacorian Bennett. I like him being in there when he's able to play. On the defensive line, I wish we had bigger, more powerful guys on the inside. To be able to help Max get that pressure. Because if you notice, when we played the Patriots, when we had that pressure at the middle, it made Max more dangerous. It made him be able to do his thing more because you get that push from everybody else. So at this point, like I want us to go younger, even if it's with the trade. A lot of people are like, "Oh, who should we trade for? Who should we trade for?" Like I want us to get some young defensive talent, defensive tackle. Get a nice defensive tackle. I even heard the Broncos were shopping around some of their defensive players, Simmons and Surtain. Like, damn, we can land those guys. Like, those would be a huge help on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, right now, the offense wise, talent wise, other than the O line, you have the talent on the skill positions. Obviously, the O line needs help. Obviously, the offensive line needs help to get that run game going, to the pass blocking, give these guys time. But I like the direction our defense is going. It's just the offense needs to play better so they can play complementary to each other. Because when the offense moves and the offense can score and put up points, our defense can go off. Our team's not designed at this point to come from behind. We're not a come from behind team. It's not going to happen. But I do like the direction the defense is going. I'm shocked. My biggest worry this year was the defense. And then now we're 7 games in? It's the offense. I can't believe what I'm seeing. So I'm
Yeah,
shocked,
that's
but
exactly.
yeah.
I mean, let's see for the comments right now because I like what to see about the comment of Anthony Strather. They said, I know Jacobs and Adams didn't have a great game, but McDaniels and Hall, you trade Josh Jacobs and Adams after a game. We know we don't play like that. And I know that I understand about it because, like I told everybody else, that we need some young talents and experiment players that we need to fill out for the defense and the offense because I know the defense is still good. But the only issue right now is the office because they need to struggle it out and they need to be part of the identity. And if you saw the Amic Robertson and Matt Crosby, because we need to see like a lot of help, not only for the all line, but also for the special teams. That's why they don't worry about it. And if you see like a Daniel Carson as the kicker, because we need some like extra help to get involved with a lot of more defense. And this is gonna happen like this one. And real
Yeah.
men are ready to say Peters Ole, but
Oh my God.
I gotta save it for the next topic right now. So it's gonna happen
Uh-huh.
like this one. All right. So the next topic is gonna be like the next one. Hunter Renfro trade coming soon, and we need to talk about Marcus Peters. I know
Yeah.
for the trade it's gonna be like 31 October, and they
Mhm.
have some issues with the Hunter Renfro trade and Marcus Peters. I mean that the quarterback for the send him out for the Baltimore Ravens. I mean it didn't happen like it at this one because I know we struggled a lot of more because we had terrible tackling and bad
Mhm.
offense. And Marcus Peters, I don't know what he's doing right now because we just signed him because they just signed him for as a free agent. And
Right.
I don't know what's happening for the Marcus Peters. It seems like they have to catch a lot of things for that with the football right now, but into the quarterback, it seems that everything it's not very good because at some points some of the quarterbacks they have the great potential of the football, but
Mhm.
Marcus Peters, I don't know, they had the call like the lowest CQ they had to go for the football team. So I don't
Right.
know how to go for the Marcus Peters or the cornerback. So we just send in the back, or they just have it like a because we need something like an extra help for the cornerback because that's one of the issues they will worry about it. Then the Marcus Peters, it didn't happen a lot of the things that had to go for the games right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think one of the biggest thing too, I'm sorry, that hurts the corner is Nate Hobbs. Nate Hobbs being out. Nate Hobbs
Yeah.
being out makes us a lot thinner. But my thing with Peters is I know a lot of the nation talks about McDaniels losing the locker room. I think Peters is one of those players. I know there was a thing about a few weeks ago about him liking a post that people put up about Fire McDaniels, and he liked it. I know Max and them wouldn't do something like that or haven't said anything like that. If anything, they've been opposite. But with Peters, like you go back to the Pittsburgh game when he missed that interception, clear path to the end zone. He makes that pick, boom, we score. He made a couple plays a game after, even though we know at this point he's not the same Marcus Peters he used to be. But what you see on the field is this effort, and it's hurting us. That Olay thing, him not tackling or even making an effort to take people down. Like you could just see I don't think he's not believing in what they're doing here, and it shows by his play of field because that's the kind of players Marcus Peters is showing that he is at this point. I think if he believed more in what we were doing, maybe he would put more of that effort. I'm not saying he's going to throw his body out there because Marcus Peters has never been a tackling corner like Bennett, but I think you would see more effort. But to me, the way he's playing shows how he feels about this coaching staff and that he doesn't believe in them. Yeah.
Yeah, but because right now that it seems like there's a lot of the comments right now about the Marcus Peters because everybody told that Marcus Peters is still like the beast because they don't want to have it for the arm tackles right now because they're very happy with the tackling effort of Marcus Peters because he's one of those examples right now because I'm gonna share this video right now because if you see like anybody else that is see right now. So let's check them out for others we use. What is the samples about Marcus Peters? So let's
Uh,
see that sample.
Oh.
Look at this. Look at that.
Well, do you see that? I mean, look
Yeah.
at this.
He's
Look
not
at
even
this.
trying to tackle him. It's like he
He's
was
not
trying to
even
pull his
tracking
flag or
anything.
something. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
he's
my
going
god.
looking to go for anything, but he also has a lot of forced fumbles because he was never like the best tackler because he
Mhm.
always be like a bit afraid of content, but one of those reasons had to go to the let go because he plays like 10 yards over the receiver and he can
Yeah.
tackle. He can
Yeah.
tackle because he did it all the time for the Ravens. They had to go for the PI penalties and they got to beat a lot. They got to beat a
Mhm.
lot because it makes obvious because he's not on the field to tackle because it's one of the biggest issues. Because
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
Raiders need like a good elite tackle. But we just got Marcus Peters and he didn't tackle like it once. He didn't
Yeah. No,
tackle it like
that
once. And we just see like the video.
that was horrible to watch. When I saw that replay, because I mean I was at the game, so I didn't like actually see like how that happened. But when I rewatched the game and I saw that, I was like, oh my god, wow! And I saw it all over the internet too. People were just talking about how he just whiffed and didn't even try on that tackle, and I was like, and that just shows like that's a morale thing. Like you don't care at this point. You're not trying to win. You know, you're not out there giving your all. And that's what a lot of these players talk about. You hear Adams and Crosby talk about a lot of us go out there and we give it our all, but you don't see that from everybody. And Peters being a veteran, you would figure he would be one of those voices, one of those leaders, and he hasn't turned out to be the leader I thought he was going to be for this defense. Not at all. That was horrible.
Yeah, exactly. But after about that, because I just see it for the Hunter Renfro right now, because a lot of things that can happen like at a trade right now, because I would
Right.
like to see like the trade of Hunter Renfro, because what I was talking about for the live stream right now, because I would love to see it getting traded about for New England Patriots or the Carolina Panthers to help with each other with the defense and the quarterback. I mean, that could be
Hmm.
happen like this because it doesn't seem like the remaining plays fit at the office because of probably these very offensive right now. Because I know that it seems like Hunter Renfro and all of about this because it should be like a middle list right now. But he has been being used at the work in the trade. We Terrace Marshall had to request a trade because the situation is both not very precisely good or well because after that, because on Tuesday 31 it's gonna be like the limited trade to request it about it. So
Right.
I know he hauled it like 103 passes for like more than 1,000 yards and 9 touchdowns during the 2021 campaign. But I
Yeah.
know that Hunter Renfro, he does not very good for the current regime. It's gonna last like 30 days because there's a multiple reasons that why this get a bad look because start with the obvious, extending a player just to trade it 7 weeks into a new extension. It sounds bad,
Hmm.
but it took
Yeah.
like a
Horrible.
7 weeks longer that both quarterback Derek Carr and tight end during Waller last year, we've seen like extensions for the Hunter Renfro through the offseason. It looks very
Right.
bad because why those players are receiving long term, multi-million dollar extension if Dave Siegel is willing to give up just after the one season? Because it sounds like bad business. You can bet all
Yeah.
the players like waiver that It's like at the Premier Free Agency to go for the sign for the Raiders. No for the long term we may cutting up. They should take it down for a year, adjusting for the new teammates and the new
Yeah.
system. I mean, they could have happened like this one.
Yeah. Yeah, the Renfro thing to me, it's wild because I remember the 2021 season. That was like our dude, right? Hunter Renfro. The fans in love with him. Third and Renfro, the slot machine they called them. You know, all that was cool and I loved it. And then you came into last year, which was McDaniel's first season with him, and they
Mhm.
utilized him. They were, but then remember he got hurt. He got the concussion. He caused that fumble in Arizona, and then he just was never the same when he was trying to come back. I know they tried to use him a little bit more afterwards, but he was never really fully healed. So I kind of understood why they gave him the extension, but then why not continue to use him the way you were before he got injured? And then I go, now you come to this year, and our team's completely different. Our offense has no identity. You know, we either throw it to Myers all one game, or we throw it to Adams all one game, and or we try to dink and dunk to our running back. So it's like, where does Renfro fit in? And to me, at this point, it doesn't feel like he's fitting in on this offense. You know, he's not fitting in with these guys. He doesn't know what he's supposed to do, and when he does go in there, they're not even looking at him, or he's not getting open because to me, I don't think Renfro fits this offense because he runs routes and he kind of like improvises to get open. And with Carr, that worked beautiful, extending the play, do that. But in this offense, it's timing. You got to hit, you got to hit. And I don't see it working at this point, but not using him is hurting because what trade value does he have at this point? Like, who's going to want to give you, say, an elite player or a higher than a third round pick for him at this point? We're not even utilizing him. So that's the part that
Yeah, that's
gets me
exactly.
upset about it. Like, who's gonna want to do that at this point? Yeah. Mm-mm.
Yeah, that's exactly because and I know for the contrast right now, it seems like that they have that a situation it doesn't feel good about it because it just seems like a bad business right now. But if
Yeah.
we need to have to worry about it, because we had Devontae Adams, we got Jacoby Myers, so the wide receiver is getting filling up, but we need somebody to get help it to feed it with the quarterback, the running back, everything about it. But Hunter
Mhm.
Renfro, it's getting into the trade to the fracture relationship with Josh
Right.
McDaniels. And it's been like a trial to more like receiver for the last season. And he lasts like 7 weeks longer than both Colin Waller. But that wasn't the plan because two of the former teammates they just wanted to Renfro out of the show because he received like a depending on distinction. But
Mhm.
it's if they're begging for a team to trade for Renfro, well, it seems the harder this ballot they're refusing him because as not as the Hunter Renfro is getting open for legally, because the offensive season is number 13, almost sort of defined for whoever's quarterback in was almost
Right.
truly like in the win now situation, and they're willing to get him more for like a receiver who's getting oftentimes to the wide open for the game plan. If they
Mhm.
truly had to go to this win situation right now, why are they beginning to get away to such a quality player? I mean, none of
Yeah.
this is making much sense.
No, it's puzzling, especially when you think about how much money he's making and it's being used at for what? If you weren't going to use him, then you should have traded him in the offseason. Even though the nation was going to be mad regardless, whether you did it in the offseason or you do it now. And then now you're at this point where it's kind of like almost like you're being forced to. Like the 31st is in 5 days? It's almost now you're being forced to. Like, what are you going to get at this point? Like, yeah, it looks just so bad. Like mismanagement of player, mismanagement of the team, and it all it makes everything look like what people always say about the Raiders, how they just don't know how to manage good players when they have them. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. So right now, let's see for the next topic right now, and I know it's gonna be a lot of controversial right now. So after we just talking about Hunter Renfro, Marcus Peters, and Jimmy Garoppolo. All right, so let's see for the comments right now. So I just wanted to say this. Hey, what's up, Ja Raiders? Salute,
What's
Leo,
up, Ja?
Rafa. Yes, yeah, that is it. Real man to say, R Raiders say, let's start a petition to change his. I don't know,
You know
but
what? That bothers me though. The fact that he wears 24 and he's playing so horrible, like that hurts.
oh yeah,
Yeah,
yes.
like that hurts. Yeah.
Yeah, that happens.
Mhm.
A real man writers to say that was so horrible to watch. Zero effort. Yeah.
Yeah.
So right now, let's take a look for the next topic right now, and I know it's gonna be like a lot of controversy because after we just talking about Hunter Renfro, Marcus Peters, and even Jimmy Garoppolo, the next one is gonna be like really interesting right now. So let's talk about Josh Jacobs, and this time is really, really, really serious about right now because we just saw for the press conference back in 2022 after after the off season after the trade that it goes to move right now. So we just started to worry about it because during the 2022 season comes to begin right now, everybody seems that they're gonna have it for the new coach, a new general manager. So they just hired with Josh McDaniels and Deb Ziegler as their new general manager and coaching because they work with New England Patriots. But the only
Right.
issue about it, Josh McDaniels, he sucks a lot of times because over the first year, of the season of Las Vegas Raiders, he didn't make it right. Because he didn't make like the play calling. He just started to sucking it out because right now his play calling is being worse. He's being
Right.
worse. And right now for the second year, he's still doing the worst. He's doing the worst of the bad thing. Because when we just see for the press conference and about for the new including about Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, things are getting a little real right now because Dave Ziegler is cooking out for the draft picks and everything. But Josh McDaniels, I don't know about to say about it, but he really sucked. He really fucked that up. And
Yeah.
everybody thought this Josh McDaniels is like an offensive guru or he's the best coach at about time, but it's not the coach's fault. It's not the players. But I just wanted to tell it. Open your eyes. Because if you see the game right now, Josh
Right.
McDaniels, he cannot do anything. Just
Mhm.
open your eyes and then see like what kind of everything about it. So if you see like the season of Denver Broncos or about it, because he was fired after the week number 13. I gotta tell you,
Yeah.
folks, Josh McDaniels is not a great head coach right now. He's not a good one. And we try to explain it about it. We try to explain it because he was doing like a the worst effort. He's not making a look at the play calls and everything. I mean, he talks a lot. And I
Mhm.
think we got the wrong McDaniel because back then, because in Miami Dolphins, they got Mike McDaniel. He's doing a lot of great. And we
Right,
got
right.
a Ron McDaniel. So we just like to send anybody to say, huh? Because we
Mhm.
just had the worst coach. And that's not a good look, folks. That's not a good look because even though we had a great talent, we had a great like Max Crosby, Devontae Adams, Josh Jacobs, but we had the worst coaching. And I'm not kidding, folks. We're just trying to figure it out how the coaching is gonna figure it out because after we just saw for the Chicago Bears, terrible performance because we
Right.
had no effort, we had terrible tackling, we had no offense. I mean, what the fuck are we gonna do now? Because the coach is about the issue. And for that reason, because we're just talking about Mark Davis, even though he's dancing around because he's happier because right now they got the team of the Las Vegas for the women's national basketball team,
Yeah, the Aces.
but but with the Raiders, it's very different because Mark Davis he didn't help with the Raiders right now. I mean that it's got a lot of word of the situation right now. So
Mhm.
any thoughts on about because right now the Josh McDaniels is still the worst thing, and there's still a lot of people who still support for Josh McDaniels. But I guarantee, open your eyes, folks.
Ah,
He's not a dude a great job.
no, no. And you know what? I've tried, with my co-host Chris on Protect the Shield. I try to be partial to him and give him a chance. You go back to last season, and last season, I remember being upset because we lost those close games we should have won. You go back to the Arizona one. You go back to when we lost against the Rams, and there were a couple others that we should have won. The Colts, we had no business losing that game. And to me, those were coaching things. But last year, I never really questioned the offense. Other than the New Orleans game when we didn't do nothing, we got shut out. Other than that one, like I never questioned the offense the way I do now. Coming into this year, it was like, okay, we added a weapon in Jacoby Myers, who turned out to be way better than I thought he was going to be for us anyway. So at this point in my head, I'm like, oh, this offense is going to be cooking. And this is supposed to be his baby, his part of the team. And to see them failing the way they are, to me, is like you can't continue thinking that he's going to get it sooner or later. Like we're 7 games in already. This is a year and a half in. And instead of getting better, this offense is getting worse at this point. So what are you going to do? And I get what people say you can't just keep firing coaches, the coaching carousel. Like I understand that part. But you also can't keep someone who is hurting your team because you don't want to go that route. And if anything, this week's game against the Bears proved that. We went against a team that's 1-5 without their star quarterback, right? And they were way more prepared than we are. Does that contribute to the stars on the field or coaching preparation? I put that on coaching preparation. The Chicago Bears coach got their team prepared. Our coach didn't do anything. He didn't do anything to prepare this team for that. They got pushed around. There was like no game plan. We're going to go do what we do. They couldn't do it. There were no adjustments, and they got their ass kicked. They literally got their ass kicked, and McDaniels got out coached. And if you're still at a point where you want to say, I still believe in this guy, like you said, open your eyes. How much longer do you have to wait? It's like being in an abusive relationship, right? They keep hitting you, they keep treating you like shit, but you're still there. How much longer do we have to put up with this? How much longer are we going to have to keep accepting this guy making the wrong decisions? And you look at the game, we were down 21-3. First and goal after a penalty, and he kicks a field goal. When you're down by, you need 20 points and he kicks a field goal. Like, what are these decisions he's making? He did the same thing in the Pittsburgh game where he went for the field goal when we should have went for the touchdown. Like, when are you going to get that this guy's just not it? Like, people say, oh, look at his pedigree. Look, yeah, but that was then. That was with New England and with the GOAT at the quarterback position. Maybe that's why your shit worked, because ever since he's left, that whole system hasn't been the same. So maybe it wasn't the system. Maybe it was the quarterback. But whatever you're doing, it ain't working no more because this team has way too much talent on the offensive side to be failing the way they're doing. And this is all on Josh McDaniels. You can't blame anybody but Josh. Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly. All right, so let's check them out for the comments right now that is said of There's reports McDaniels lost in Madden 23 by 60. Y'all ready to say, I predict McDaniels get fired against Dolphins. That will be on November.
No,
Let's
because we're
talk
probably gonna
about,
get killed.
yeah.
That's probably why.
Yeah. A lot of commenters to say, hey, what's good, fan, for Raider Twan. Make sure to
What's up,
subscribe
Twan?
to Raider Twan because he was doing an
Yes.
amazing jobs. And I was watching the 2x1 podcast with Eric, the youngest girl, the yes experience right now. But yes, a real man that says, yeah, I have a feeling that the Dolphins game might not be pretty for us. That will be like in
No.
November. But
Yeah.
I guarantee that we just suck at coaching because right
Yeah.
now it seems that there's a I gotta be I'm gonna be serious right now because there's some there's some persons right now, I don't know, in social media and content creators, they just say that it's not the problem with the coaching, it's about for the players. But I will tell you this, folks. You gotta open your eyes because the coaching it's not the greatest solution. Because if you
Right.
see like everything is gonna be worse than it happens right now, because if we're trying to see like in a must-win situation, because if we just win against the Green Bay Packers, and of course we just win against for another team like New England Patriots, that's very good. But it's not good enough, folks. It's not good
Right.
enough
Hmm.
because we had to stay a lot of things happen because we're not because we're tired of losing. We're tired of losing and we're just trying to be patient because we need something to prove about it. We had to stay to prove about it to everything about it. This stage already to say so the person who leaked that there's a locker room issue came from Peters and it sounds Matt Adams, Jacobs, and not buying McDaniel's stream. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, that happened. But in my question, but in my reason about it, because right now, because I've been telling for everything about it.
Hmm.
Raiders got a lot of great talent, but they got
Yes.
coaching, bad coaching. And it's not a great chemistry. Because if you
Mhm.
see like over those years when they got a Jack Del Rio, they got a Flores, and they got Maiden. Also, they got John Gruden. Even John Gruden has it to the perfect because he got a great instinct, but if it comes to
Right.
the Raiders, and of course he got a killer instinct when it comes because before he was fired up because they had Katya, and right now for the new regime, it still
Yeah.
sounds the same because it still's got a lot of stuff to right now because if we're gonna prove it about this because before Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler, we had to play a lot of great aggression right now because we are the team that we play with a great heart, with a lot of
Right.
aggression right now. So I just wanted
Mhm.
to tell that to everybody else. But after
Yeah.
you just got a McDaniels and that Ziegler, things are gonna get like really weird right now because we just
Mhm.
missed like aggression football because they
Yeah.
need a lot of better.
That's the part I get. We talk about like because a lot of people say like, oh, that 2021 team that made the playoffs, they got lucky, whatever. Like they weren't lucky. They played with heart. They played with emotion, and that's what this team lacks. And people can say what they want about Gruden the second time, like his first 2 years, we were just as bad as we are now. Like you know what we were, but with that team, you didn't see them get their ass kicked the way this team did on Sunday. You would see small progressions. There was hope that they were getting better, and sooner or later that progress was going to happen, which is what you hope with this one. But at this one, you don't see that. The problem with the Gruden era wasn't the coaching; it was more their management of players. Horrible drafting, horrible signing on that part. Like I give you that part, but coaching wise, they got the most out of the players they had and the players that came here. This coach, you have too much talent on this offensive side of the field not to be able to score and move the ball efficiently. Like that's a coaching issue at this point. You can't say it's the players. I get we don't have the top name offensive line and they could protect better. Yeah, they could. But at some point, you have to adjust to that as a coach. What are you doing? You go back to the Charger game. You're going to tell me you couldn't adjust to Khalil Mack sacking the guy 6 times? You couldn't make no adjustments on the offensive line to stop Khalil Mack from getting that many sacks, and then lie and say we double team them, and you go look at the tape and you're like, oh my god, Like, no, you didn't, and that's the kind of stuff that where he loses his credibility. Like, dude, you lied. You straight up told us you had double teamed him, and no, you didn't. We all saw you did it. But you like to think that you're the smartest person, and go back to like what Ja was saying. Like, this coach is losing the locker room and he's losing the players. He really is, and it showed on that field on Sunday. It really did.
Yeah, that's exactly. But I just wanted to see to go. Everything could happen like this because we, as a Raider fans, we need something better. We need something like we deserve a lot of better because we're not gonna be like the laughing stuff in the NFL because before that was a team that would scare them. But right now they're just like a team that always get a laugh at. But the only thing that as a Raiders fans, because we just love to enjoy what are those rival teams getting beat up because for example, Brock Purdy got exposed about the Monday Night Football because
You're
he
right.
just lost against Minnesota Vikings. And everybody thought that the San Francisco 49ers can be like unbeatable, but guess what? Brock Purdy got exposed right now because he can never, it's been like he being like a mobile quarterback, and George Kittle and Christian McCaffrey and all the defensive 49ers, they think they're untouchable, but guess what? Vikings got the W against for the 49ers. And let's talk about for the Denver Broncos, as now it's a Denver Donkeys. They never had a great defense. Also for the Chargers right now for the Los Angeles because they had a Justin Herbert right now. But I seen there has a lot of competition right now. But it seems that they had a lot of competition for that conference between the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos. But it seems like it's really, really impossible to beat up what are those teams right now because the last time we did have it to go for it. And let's just see if it'll come away to say for Jari to say, I give Gurley credit because he never lost the locker room. He took blame for losses. And let's check it out for another comment. Adams on press conference today said this staff is not if they would have took a shot at McDaniels. I mean, I guarantee you about it. And I agree with the comment, John Rader, because as a Raiders coach, he put a lot of things about right now.
Oh, I gotta watch that.
Yep. Oh, this seems like it ever happened with the connection problems. Hello, but I know this happened like this one, but I mean that John Gruden puts a lot of heart because he understands it because he has a killer mentality. But as a matter of fact, we need something like a leader of men that he can put like every talk with the players, the coaches, and everything. But we had to stay focused about it. But if we got Josh McDaniels and Dave
There we
Sealer,
go. Is that better?
Yeah, it sounds better. Yeah, it sounds better. But I really thought that it's gonna be like heavy because what I just said about John Gruden, he puts a lot of heart because he got a killer instinct. And people know it about because every thought that because he took blame for the losses right now because John Gruden, he said like a lot of things about it, but he got that instinct that we know because he brought a lot of energy for the Raiders, even though they criticize him, but I know he guaranteed that he's been good at now about this.
Yeah, man, no. I liked him for that part. At least he got the most out of his players. If you think about it, he's the one that got the most out of Waller, got the most out of Renfro, things like that. Like players that people didn't really give much credit to, and then they came and they balled out over here, because they played for him. The players used to play for Gruden, and you don't see them play for Josh. Not at all.
Yeah, that's exactly. All right, so I just wanted to tell you because right now the last topic, that will be like really, and I know for a fact because right now it is time to see now because before the Monday Night Football, so we just had like a presentation right now, so we got like the key matchups. All right, so the first one for the football key matchups for the Monday Night Football between Las Vegas Raiders versus the Detroit Lions. So first, the offense need to get identity to involve more. Number two, more pressure on the quarterback, Jared Goff. And number three, this is gonna be like an interesting matchup. They got Max Crosby versus Penei Sewell because this is gonna be like as I mentioned above because it's gonna be like the headliner of 101.
Right.
But Max Crosby, you had to be careful about Penny Sewer because he's a worthy adversary. Because he's got the third year pro, the up and comer to start the blocking off for the best offensive tackles. But in 7 games, he surrendered zero pressures 5 times. He has only given up three an entire year. He's got the fewest at any tackle at least 100 snaps to the pass protection. It's been done for wide play, ball left and right tackle, filling in for Taylor Deckler on the blind side of weeks 2 and 3. But Crosby is more like the pass rusher. He's a reliant defender too, but no edge has more tackles against the raw. He's tied for the second stops and runs to the third with more. But Sewa isn't quite impressive at the run game, but it's just like more the outside for the top 10 among defensive tackles within that department. I mean, that should be
Yeah.
like the really interesting about the matchup between Penette Sewell versus Max Crosby. It all depends for the great matchup about who's gonna be like to take advantage.
Hmm. Yeah. No, no, no. Yeah, definitely. And I think another key part too is they got to stop Detroit's run. If we can't have a pass rush, we can't pressure Goff if they're just running the ball all over us. Look what happened in Chicago. It wasn't that kid beat us; they kept running the ball. Chicago kept running the ball. And if we can't stop the run, Max can't get the pressure. The strength of our defense is that pass rush for Max to be able to cause pressure and our secondary to make some plays. If we're not able to do that, then they're just going to get pushed around and be left on the field. And that matchup is going to be interesting because in my head, like, I wonder if they're going to leave him one-on-one because most teams do not leave Max one-on-one. But with with this tackle, the way he plays, one being one of the top ones, like I'd be interested to see if they do let him block Max one-on-one. And then to your point is our offense. We got to find some sort of identity, whether it's Jimmy starting and then him spreading the ball around, getting the run game going, dumping the ball off to Jacobs in the pass, something, some way or another. But we got to get our offense going because if we don't, Detroit has one of the best offenses in the league right now. And if we think it's going to be a defensive battle, no. They're gonna try and score. They're gonna try and let up. So we can't fall behind. We got to keep them off the field. We got to play keep away with that ball and keep them off the field and keep their defense on the field for as long as we can. If not, then we're in for a long night on Monday.
Yeah, that's exactly. And I'm gonna say Jared is say Lions 11 defense, 4 offense. I mean, you gotta be careful about it because if we need to have the struggle about for the defense right now and the offense, they gotta start with a brand new identity because it's gonna happen like the special teams, the kicker, the wide receiver. I mean, defensive lights, everything. I mean, they need to start to involve a lot more. They need to close it up for the games, and they need to
Yeah.
start to involve and feed a lot of more for the wide receiver, the quarterback, and if they're gonna trust it about the process, how is it gonna be like the office? Because it's impossible to beat up the Detroit Lions because I know that the Detroit Lions over the last season it just went worse. But right now, for this season, right now with Aiden Hutchinson and Jared Goff, I mean, those stars are thinking about they're going to improve a lot more, and they just got to
Right.
building up. And we need to be careful about how did it go to the defense building up.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, especially because the Lions just come off such a horrible loss too to Baltimore. Baltimore embarrassed them last week, so they're coming back hungry. Hungry. They're going to be at home. That Detroit crowd, I think they're sold out for the whole year. They're all excited about their team, so that place is going to be loud. So our team's going to have to come out there, on top of everything and make sure they play strong, fundamental football. If not, they're going to get their ass kicked on Monday. And that's going to be the reality of it. They can't expect in there and think that, oh, Detroit's going to overlook us or anything like that. No, because this team's coming in hungry. They're one of the top seeds in the NFC, so they need to keep winning to be able to stay up there with the 49ers and the Eagles at this point if they want to be able to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's exactly because they had to establish a lot of more things to do, and of
Mm-hmm.
course, it's something that I was going to enter with. And right now, that the last thing that we just start talking about it because right now they have that injury report, but I think that a lot of the things should come right now because let's just see what they happens for the Raiders right now because I know that they had the injury report right now, but it seems that they have the call right now because I know that the key embarrassed right now because they had the key matchups. because it's gonna be like their offense right now. But it seems that the offense is gonna be rust rounded about it. But I think that they believe that it just happened because expectations have come to the fruition. Because remember the
Okay.
last season that just had like sits an 11 record last year, and through the
Hmm.
offense, respectable 23 points per game. I mean, they just credited about it, and they just like an involvement. But I think it's gonna be like I don't know, it's gonna be like the same, or it's gonna be the perfect over the last season, when it comes to Derek Carr or they goes for the Devontae Adams. But it seems that they gotta improve a lot of more, but it still had they still missing something. They still missing like a to bring the talents like the defensive tackle. They just still missing something. They can
Yeah.
do a lot of more.
Yeah. You know, when it comes to this team, like I think I talked about it yesterday on our show with the fellas. Like we're missing the key position on the offense, which is the quarterback. We do not have a true quarterback. Everybody expected Jimmy to come in here and hopefully be healthy, and he hasn't. This is what we feared the most, for him not to be healthy, and then us be wondering in La La Land, what are we going to do at quarterback position? So it makes our offense even worse. And then now that our defense is starting to play better, this affects them as well. Because now if your offense can't move the ball, your defense has to stay out there a lot longer. So even no matter who we have out there, like to me, they never addressed the defensive tackle position on the offseason. That was huge for me. Like, how could you go the whole offseason and not address that at all? Whether if it was through the draft with Jalen Carter, or if it was somebody else. I know they did pick up Young, and he's getting a little bit of play, but maybe another free agent or something like that to be able to help on that defensive line on the interior. I know a lot fell off because with Tyree, they thought Chandler Jones was going to be here. He was supposed to be the starter, and Tyree was going to learn and slowly come in. Unfortunately, Chandler, had his incident, his issues, and then now Tyree's forced to be the starter. There's a lot of pressure on him on the nation to perform. I mean, he had his first sack, and it was a strip sack, and all the nation can say was like, "Finally, it took you 7 games," instead of being like, "Oh man, he finally got it." So it's tough, and I just wish they would do a lot. They would have done a lot more in the off season than they didn't, and it's starting to show now in the season why they should have addressed those interior positions. To me, it started with the offensive line, the defensive line, and securing that quarterback position, which they thought they did. But if he keeps getting hurt, we're just going to be in for another long season this year.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, I agree with that. So right now, I just wanted to say that thank you everybody for joining us at this special Silver and Black experience, because I'm gonna bring back the podcast of Raiders, because when it comes to American football, like the NFL, every season we just gotta put like a great Raiders content, and of course, gives your final thoughts, Leo, because we gotta wrap this up, because right now just gotta watch it for the Monday Night Football and everything.
My thing is like I don't care if we lose sometimes. I know we're not going to win every game, but I want to see our team make an effort. Last year, I wasn't mad at the losses because they were close, other than New Orleans. We only got our ass kicked twice, New Orleans, and then we got our ass kicked by Kansas City. Other than that, as long as this team shows that they're fighting and they're keeping in the game, they're putting their heart to it, I'll be fine with it. I will always support this team regardless. But at the end of the day, when I see shit like I saw on Sunday, like that's what gets me mad. You see no effort, the missed tackles, the lack of preparation. Those are the things that get me mad as a nation, and where I start jumping on the bandwagon of get this fool out of here. But like always, I'm gonna keep my head up. I'm gonna have my Raider gear on Monday. I'm gonna walk into the spot. We always watch our games at Pizza Co. here in Pomona. I'm gonna shout out Raiders the minute I walk in, and hopefully we come out with that dub on Monday. And next week's shows will be a lot more happier than this week's.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
that's exactly. Yeah, that's exactly. And right now, it's been like another episode of Silver and Black Experience with a special guest, Leo Chindaluz. And make sure to subscribe to Chindaluz on YouTube, because he provides excellent content. Not only he can watch it on Protect the Shield, also Nothing But the Raiders. He's got a lot of content right now, but I guarantee this is gonna be like a really excited. And of course, you can subscribe to Rafael Chacín as well as Capitán Rafucho on YouTube. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram as at Capitán Rafucho, and you can see the reactions and everything for the live stream about it. So I just wanted to tell you, everybody at the audience right now, thank you for watching us. It's been like another episode of Silver and Black Experience, and like I always say, it's no matter we will no matter if we win or lose, Raider Nation till I die. And of
That's right,
course, it's
brother.
been another episode of Similar Like Experience, just Raiders, baby. No bullshit, no filter, no opposing teams because it's just only Raiders, baby. And of course, have a great one, folks. Happy
You too, brother.
Thursday, happy weekend, and of course, it's been like another episode of Civil and Black Experience with Rafael Chacín, as known as El Capitán Rafucho, and with a special guest,